Sports Talk Live for the culture. How's it going, Jonathan?
It's going good. It's going good.
What's going on? You in here? Mamba mentality. Toughing it out today on the show.
Yeah.
As we get in to the sports world, and the main topic of last week was, I see you still repping the hat.
Oh, got to.
With the San Francisco 49ers, who came up a tad bit short in the bowl, the big game, Super Bowl 54. The NFL was a great game. It was a tremendous game. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers, Super Bowl 54. It was a back and forth game where San Fran took control early, had the lead late into the fourth quarter, and it just kind of slipped away there going forward for the 49ers. The coaches, Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid. Andy Reid was a sentimental favorite. Let's jump into this real quick because there was a lot of talk in 2010 lead and then end up losing 31-20. Did the 49ers give it away, or did the Chiefs come and take it from them? The Chiefs have been trailing in every playoff game this year and rallied to win. What's your take? 'Cause that was a theme after the game. We'll get into the strategy.
Oh, it was a numerous things that went wrong, but I would say the San Fran probably gave it away. You can't not go for certain downs. You seen Andy Reid went for it, I believe, twice on fourth down.
Yeah, he was playing to win.
You can't, want to hold the clock and not want to, take chances because you're afraid that they're going to get the ball back with 20 seconds left on the clock. And so you can't play like that, And then, when you did, it was working out for somewhat. And couple plays, if his corner gets his head around instead of just jumping in there like Superman, that's an interception in the end zone. Then, the game is still in San Fran's hands. But, a lot of people was talking about the refs and everything, but at the end of the day, he's still Jimmy overthrew a man to still win the game with everything on the line. He overthrew
the deep route. Sanders
had him wide open. Overthrew him for about 5 yards. So.
Yeah, and definitely looking at the game, I thought the play action, the run game, San Francisco got out early, and they were able to really control what they were doing off the play action. Mm-hmm. Even though I thought, we'll talk about the quarterback play, Jimmy G. Even off the play action, sometimes I didn't even think he was like super accurate that whole game. When you talk about the playoffs and the play of the quarterback, which a lot of times it comes down to, like we say, the coach and the quarterback are only two people with records. So that's how they are portrayed, win or lose. Debo Samuels was hot early, really, and I believe he set the Super Bowl record for rushing yards by a wide receiver that was previously held by Percy Harvin. He broke that. The misdirection run game was working early. Seemed to maybe get away from that in the crunch time, piece of the game. Moving forward, what did you think about? It seemed like in the crunch time, like they really tried to put the ball a little bit in Garoppolo's hands. Did you agree, or should they just try to, keep what their philosophy has been running?
Yeah, I think they should just stick to what they were doing. I was in. Most of them didn't have a touch in the first quarter. I thought that was weird. He didn't have a carry in the first quarter. It don't matter who you have listed as your running back, your starting back. Going into this, Moses was supposed to get majority of the carries. And didn't understand that either. I think it's just new. Shanahan, tight situations. He made a lot of He's made a lot of bad decisions this whole season, despite the record, despite having a good record,
I thought go back in that overtime game against Seattle when it was fourth down.
Yeah, you can look at a lot of plays and a lot of close games. I don't think he made the right decision, but the right decision is only the right decision
if you win.
So if he goes for it on fourth down and doesn't get it, now everybody's saying that was the wrong decision.
Right.
So the right decision is only when you would succeed at what you were doing.
Yeah, so
like when he held the ball at half, if he would have got the touchdown or got 3 points, with seconds left on the clock, everybody said, "Oh, he's a genius. He wanted to stall the clock out. Then he knew he was going to throw the bomb. He knew this, and then he knew Kansas City was going to get it back with 2 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
But since that didn't happen, now it's the bad decision.
Well, I thought it was bad because I just said it. I thought it was at the time and said it didn't have the feel like we're coming here to take a world championship.
Right.
Like we got defense, whatever. You get the ball back to Mahomes. We ain't worried about. We gonna pressure him. We gonna light him up. We can't worry about what you're gonna do. But right now, you need points to win, and it seems like you would need to score because you know how the Chiefs can get hot. That all your offensive positions that you would need a chance to try to get as much offensively out of every possession that you have. And there was a lot of stories in this. Go ahead.
You got 2 shout-outs. Tamara Bush and Miss Moore for letting me get out the house today.
Oh, okay.
She didn't want to let me out, but she let me out.
The show got to go on. It's Mamba mentality down here. You know
Gotta be in Mamba.
You know what I mean? That's what I try to tell them, all the time. Like, it's Mamba mentality. It's how we get down here. We don't mess around. A lot of different players we able to think here, but I wanted to get into the specifics of certain players and how they played and what went on with them during the game. And one of the things that was very interesting
Chiefs is those 2 games they were already down. And, so they didn't really feel like, normally you hit somebody with that blow like that, game is over. The air is out of the game is over. But the Chiefs didn't have that air come on them because they've been down already. They're like, okay, this has happened. We rallied before. What's the difference between today and tomorrow? Yesterday, I thought it should have been different because those other teams wasn't the 49ers. So me personally, that's what I was saying. Well, they weren't the 49ers who you were playing. But it showed that the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and even though he didn't have a great game, Mahomes didn't have a great game, he still made the plays when it counted. What you going to look at more than anything. You're going to look at that drive when he drove down. Got the touchdown.
And I think that's one of the big things about sports. It's about when you get into that crunch piece. When you get into that part where you're worried about, hey, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get this done? How are we going to the money time? And that's the thing about pressure. Pressure seems to, like they say, bust pipes or make a
diamond
or make a diamond. And I think that it got into the part about late in the game where they were going at it and they were playing very well. And then it got to the last 6 or 7 minutes, and you were like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? Why is this not coming across, or what's going on? And I think that's the part about sports that is really, really, really the best part, because you get into the last seconds and the bottom seconds, and you're trying to figure out, okay, all right, what's going to happen? Who's going to have it? Who's going to make these key plays down the stretch? And it seemed like once they got the momentum going, the Chiefs, it was like San Fran had opportunities to flip it back, but they just couldn't get it flipped back. That was the key in the game. Not being able to get the momentum back from the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it was a lot of times, with the defense made stops, but then the offense just couldn't get on. It was like Garoppolo after they doubled Kittle so many times. It was like he just stopped looking at Kittle. And Kittle became open in the fourth.
Key third down, he missed him.
He was missing him, and he came open on a couple plays I seen. It was like he was so used to him being doubled, and it's like he just start going to his second and third read from the instead of even checking with his first read again. It's like he just abandoned Kittle, so hey, it happens. They young. Hopefully they get back, Hopefully. It's hard to get there.
Oh, it's hard to get there.
It's not easy to get there,
Yeah, when I was looking at, when you talk about the comparison of the quarterbacks and you talk about Garoppolo, and you talk about how he played. And there's one thing when we talk about quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks you can win with, and there's quarterbacks you can win because of.
Mm-hmm.
And Patrick Mahomes is definitely the quarterback you can win because of.
Oh, yeah.
I thought basically I had posted on during that when it got into that fourth quarter, I said Patrick Mahomes was going to have to do his Russell Wilson imitation. Like he's going to have to get on his horse, get these legs with convert these third down with these legs because they're committing to coverage. They don't have anybody spy on you. And if you really look at that fourth quarter, that's what he was doing. He made several big runs to make manageable third downs or to convert third downs. And he came out there and started playing like that. And it showed, like championship moxie because really you had to rewrite the story, the byline of what the Super Bowl was about because it looked like the moment was too big for Patrick Mahomes. That's what trended into the fourth quarter with about 6 or 7 minutes left. And then came to play. 3rd and 15. And he completes a 40-yard pass, which was underthrown, really. It should have been a touchdown to Tyreek Hill.
Walk-in touchdown.
Yeah, walk-in touchdown. Tyreek Hill was a little behind, had to wait for it, and got caught, and they end up, finishing that drive with a touchdown to their tight end, Kelsey. Shout out to Kelsey. Made a big catch, and then it was 2017, and then you go, okay, here we go. And that kind of, the momentum was like, here you go. How's San Fran going to respond? How's Jimmy Garoppolo going to respond? But still was plenty of time left. It was 6, 7 minutes left, so you could still ground and pound. You had the lead. You could still do the run, and, you didn't have to get out of your character of who you were. And then I think on that point, and a lot of things that wasn't talked about, was the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, who had an emotional speech. He gathered the defense together on the KC side and was like, hey, what are y'all doing? He probably didn't use that type of language. Look, and they came out and they were able to put the clamps on San Francisco and able to get the ball back into their defenses, back into their offensive hand, Pat Mahomes' hands, and he was able to drive and take the lead and then eventually get another turnover too. Another D-back, Sherman, did not have his strongest game in the Super Bowl. Got ISO'd one-on-one and got kind of lit up. I think his quarterback rating thrown towards him was 158.3. What happened to Sherman this game? They were able to isolate him with speed, and he's not a fast guy.
Yeah, they were able to, we were able to hide Sherman. Like, that's what it was about more than anything. Pass rush. Yeah, we were able to hide him. You wasn't able to see him getting burnt because the rush was getting there. We had support. We had safety over the top. We had the linebackers dropping back because what we could do with our front four was so unique. How we can get that pressure with our front four. So we was able to hide Sherman for a while. Then I guess when Mahomes started running, we had to change our defense up a little bit. We had to move things around. And when we did that, I think they left him over there on the island by himself, and he's an old man. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And he was never a speed receiver. He was a speed corner. He was always a corner that would jam you, and just threw the timing off.
Yeah.
So with Sammy Watkins being as tall as him, maybe a little taller, it made it a little hard, I guess, for him to jam him off the line. And once he didn't get that jam off the line, he was wide open. But
yeah.
It happens,
And I think it's. He played well because you know the weaknesses, whatever, and I think they made design their offense to try to get that ISO up. Troy Aikman was commenting earlier. They had those one-on-one situations earlier, but just could not execute.
Right.
And that became to the point where you're like, okay, we're going to try to execute and get Sherman one-on-one. And when they're able to do that, I think like you said, they were getting that heat with that front four. They were getting good pressure, and that had Pat Mahomes off, had him off his game,
right,
forcing some things. He had the clock. You always want to speed the quarterback up, and he was definitely sped up in that situation. And then he started using his legs, and you kind of like temper your rush,
right?
Because like you don't want to like get out of your rush lane.
You're trying to rush but still protect the outside.
Yeah.
So now you're doing a whole different type of blitz scheme. You're coming from the outside trying to protect everything.
Yeah, and so And once they got that, once they were able to isolate on Sherman, they were able to get some big plays with Sammy Watkins, and definitely in that fourth quarter, that was a huge play. Another player for the Chiefs who...
I'll get a quick shout out to Jalen, birthday today.
Oh.
You just tuned in.
Oh, hey, Jalen, happy birthday. I shot him out on the book.
Okay.
What's up, Coach? You're more than welcome to come down and talk sports anytime. Just let me know. The Damian Williams.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people thought he should have been MVP. He had a tremendous game catching the ball. It was interesting because Shady was not active. He was a healthy scratch. So Williams played exceptionally well. He was making people miss, getting first downs, had a great catch. That catch and scored down by the end zone on third down.
Yeah.
That was a tremendous play. What do you think about Williams? Do you think he should have been MVP?
It's hard to overtake a quarterback, and you don't have you don't have that name as a running back.
Yeah.
So it's hard to just do that. Like, you don't have that Emmitt Smith name, so it's hard for you to overtake a quarterback and one. But then the last touchdown, I don't think, it counted, but I don't think a lot of people counted it. It wasn't like the game was over. The last touchdown when he ran up the sideline, so that was like getting points at the end of the game when they're just fouling. Like, no, they really lost in basketball. They really lost by 3, but now it looks like they lost by 12.
Yeah.
They ain't really lose by 12.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on. It was 10 seconds left on the clock, and they had to foul, But, I mean, he could have got it, but I just don't see them giving it to him over Mahomes, with Mahomes making that drive. That drive was the play, to come down, even though it was
the throw on 3rd and 15, even though it was underthrown. But during the game, it seemed like he had lost some of his arm strength.
Oh, he threw everything was underthrown the whole night.
It was like he was aiming.
Other than the pass to Sammy Watkins, everything was underthrown.
Yeah.
And the pass to Sammy Watkins just hung in the air because he knew he had the angle.
He had the separation.
Yeah, he had the right separation. That was like throwing in practice. He just put it up in the air for Sammy to get under it. But
that was key. And you said a lot. And we talk about Patrick Mahomes. We talk about him getting the MVP. Now the stage is set. He's 24 years old, league MVP, Super Bowl MVP, world champion at the age of 24. And it's been a lot of conversation, a lot of talk, a lot of, going back and forth. Is this ready for a Chiefs dynasty? Because we've seen this before. We've seen this with Aaron Rodgers. We've seen, okay, now the Packers have Aaron Rodgers. They're going to make a run or whatever. And they haven't been back to the Super Bowl since.
Right.
So it's hard to say, okay, this is going to be a dynasty or whatever. Does he break the bank? It's a lot of things that go on with the Chiefs.
He definitely breaks the bank. Dynasty, it all depends on what do you want to consider a dynasty. Do you want to consider a dynasty like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Green Bay team that you'll never count them out no season?
Yeah.
I think maybe they can be that. I believe they can be exactly that. Every season they have a chance.
Yeah.
I would give them that, but I don't know about dynasty. Over there it's only but 2 teams really. I don't think we think the Titans is gonna redo what they did this year.
You got Baltimore.
So yeah, I think it's just,
and New England is in in transition. You don't know.
Yeah,
what
we don't know what's going. Right. So the only 2 teams you got is Baltimore and the Chiefs. Really. You don't really got the Texans doing what they did last year. They may make it because of how watery it is, but you don't got them beating no one. You don't got that happening. You got them, the Chiefs or Baltimore. So they have the shot. But I think they're never out with Mahomes. I don't know what's going to happen once Mahomes loses a gear or 2. Like Aaron Rodgers. I think that's what hurt Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was running just like Mahomes in the beginning of his career.
Use your legs. Yeah, legs is important. And that's the interesting thing part. They talk about running quarterbacks, not winning. You can't win to run a quarterback. If Mahomes doesn't have his legs, they're not winning that game.
Correct.
If he's not making plays with his legs, so any quarterback you have, you got to have the arm and the arm talent. That's number one. You got to be able to lead grown men. But you're going to have to be able to have some mobility and convert third downs with your feet in this league now, and which makes you highly dangerous. And Mahomes has that ability not only to convert with his legs, but also to throw off the run. Probably his baseball background, playing baseball, has helped him out a lot.
Wayne Thomas said the Browns are going to be tough next year. They may be all right, but I don't see them as challenging anyone. I don't see them challenging anyone for the Super Bowl. We want to see them. They got to win 10 games first.
Yeah, they got to go not over 500.
Yeah. You got to get 10 games won first, then we can start talking about them a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something you want to see. Yeah. We can talk.
They did have a bad first half of their stretch. That's what really messed the Browns up this year. They didn't have teams they could just beat up on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they played real hard games. I think that's what really messed the Browns up. I think them having those games, like normally you want to beat teams up, then get your confidence. Sort of like what San Fran did. They beat teams up, and then when it came time to play Seattle, the Saints, Green Bay, they were more ready for them. So. The Browns didn't get to do that this year. They came out the gate.
They had a lot of turmoil. They
came out the gate playing the bosses. They didn't get a chance.
And they didn't have really. I think the coach he's a new coach in a new situation with a lot of volatile pieces, a lot of pieces that you seem like you need to be seasoned to manage, that to help him out. But yeah, Wayne, let's also talk about the Bills. Yeah, the Bills are putting something together nice. Their defense, they got a young quarterback. I think their ceiling is their quarterback ceiling. Usually, your ceiling is your best players and how can they play and make develop during crunch time and how they execute, and can their quarterback, the Bills quarterback, develop to one of the guys who could be a game winner. And that's the thing. He has athleticism. He has to be able to move. He has a strong arm. Mm-hmm. I think he just got to be a little bit more accurate. And they'll be able to challenge. But every year in the NFL is like a new season. Like you figure we're going to have this Chiefs dynasties. They're going to make a run. Chiefs are going to be formidable next year. Mm-hmm. But they may lose pieces. They have free agency. They come out and stuff like that. So do you think Mahomes is the $40 million man?
Oh, he got to be. When you paying Garoppolo deal look like pennies a little bit now compared to what he's produced, So but what you got Garoppolo getting paid, what he's getting paid. You got Kirk Cousins got paid, what he was getting paid. You got Russell even got paid, what he's getting paid. You gotta pay him.
Yeah.
You gotta pay him. I don't know if we're going to talk about Dak, but I don't understand, what's taking that deal so long.
Yeah, yeah. It's just bad management. It's just like you had to get that knocked out before. You definitely want to get it knocked out before Mahomes. Like you want you for it.
You don't want that to be behind that. Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely before he set the bar. Like wait a minute. Like not saying he's good as Mahomes, but it's all about market value.
Correct.
When the higher you pay, the more market goes up. And so you're not going to be the top guy, but it makes you as the fifth or sixth guy get more money. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely something that you don't want to have happen. You want to get it done and have players happy and have players feel like, yo, why is this taking so long? I didn't get paid. Like in Dak's instance, he made fourth round pick money.
Right.
And he's been starting and hasn't missed a game.
Got him on a peanut deal.
So you already made money. Like you already gave money back. Like I wasn't supposed to be starting and doing this, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Mahomes deal goes out and how it affects the Chiefs' ability to keep certain core players. And I think one of those core players that the Chiefs had during the game and really kind of came on in the fourth quarter was Chris Jones. Mm-hmm. I think Chris Jones was able to come up and make big plays and get pressure up the middle when they needed it.
Right.
And that's what was interesting about me. It was like a switch went off with him, definitely. So it's interesting to see how players like that, because they would want to keep him. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they would want to keep Chris Jones, Honey Badger, all these guys together. But it's just interesting to see all the quarterback gets and with the salary cap, what moves they make. And it's almost like a new season because this team's not really going to be held together, like it was, and in the Super Bowl. So I thought the Super Bowl was very entertaining. This definitely
great game.
Yeah, I think it definitely puts Andy Reid in the Hall of Fame.
Right. If he wasn't, he should already been in there. But
you know how they already get picky. Like
now we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not even a question no more.
And Andy and maybe Andy could win one or another Super Bowl.
Back. Yeah, it's not like he can't get back.
If you get 2 or 3 Super Bowls, you got to rank him up there as one of the top coaches. Definitely one of the top, offensive coaches, one of the top quarterback developers. Quarterbacks seem to play well and scheme offense. Andy's shortcomings in the past have been clock management and maybe, too pass happy, which I think goes back to not his West Coast offense days, but his BYU days when he was down at BYU. Your coach, Mr. Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
Now he is coming into the part where he has to shake. Can't win the big one. As a coordinator, up 23 points.
He took it from Andy. Andy passed it right on to him.
Yeah.
Here you go. This for you.
The clock management at the end of the half of the Super Bowl, people are going to talk about. And if you look at, the last, the 2 fourth quarters with him as offensive coordinator and coach in the Super Bowl, his teams have been outscored 40-0. He had 7 possessions. They haven't scored a point. The other team scored 40. And, of course, New England got 6 points in overtime, so it's been like 46. But they never got a possession. New England went down there. And the tough part about this pressure is the pressure can't be resolved unless you get back to the big game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of the things with Shanahan's going to deal with. Everything done in the regular season now really doesn't matter because people want to see you, again, how you're going to operate and function in that big moment, in the big moments late in games. It was just interesting because it was, and you're a 49ers fan, were they yeah.
No comment.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Kyle Shanahan, Super Bowl disaster, blue leg. Yeah, he has been. And the thing about it, you only can write that in the Super Bowl. Like,
right.
Whatever he's going to do, whatever Kyle Shanahan does in the regular season is not going to really matter. You have to get back to the bowl and get ready to win it. But I was asking, you follow the 49ers stuff. Was he this conservative all year? Was he just that conservative? I seen the fourth in the game in overtime where they had a new kicker. Y'all kicker, it wasn't your regular kicker.
Right.
Y'all had your backup kicker off the street.
Yeah.
And it was 4th and a yard or whatever, and he champed to field goal instead of, which gave, the ability for Seattle to come back and win. Yeah. He didn't go for it on 4th down there, trying to make the kick a little easier. Is he traditionally this conservative, that kind of conservative guy?
I mean, year before we didn't want to, year before was year before, so we didn't have too much, to go off of that. But tight games, he making different decisions that he's not. It's like he's maybe trying to, take the smooth way out. He doesn't want to get hit with, he shouldn't have went. Look, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta go for that. I didn't understand how he didn't go for that.
Yeah.
And then that made him have to play a tough game in Seattle towards the end of the season that we didn't have to play. If we win the first game, we don't even have to play the second game. We rest people.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't even have to play that game. And all you had to do is run, like you said, get him a little closer.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. You have to get the guy a little bit closer, and you could win. But I just, in his nature, to wonder if he's like, because a lot of times you don't see every game, you only see parts. And
you only see it when it counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it gets tight, he wants to, I don't know if he wants to hide his team. He wants to depend on his defense. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
He don't wants to call a big play. I don't know.
Yeah, because that. Yeah, because at the end of the first half, it was just really, really. That was like, wow.
Yeah, everybody was calling for a timeout. Even John Lynch was calling for a timeout in the box.
Yeah, everybody was like, timeout.
The skybox. Like, you call timeout, you get a minute and 40 left.
And you got a reprieve because the Chiefs receiver went out of bounds. He's like, gave you other that held, the time for you.
Yeah.
And so you really would have been, fortuitous to have that and have an opportunity to come down and attack. Yes. And it wasn't like, we're going to win the Super Bowl. We're here to win,
Right.
Like the old adage, scared money doesn't make money.
Right.
So
you picture going up, being up 7, and then getting the ball at half. You know?
That's what you're thinking about, not the bad things that can happen. You're thinking about the positive things that could happen for a team, and that was really interesting to see. And I think that kind of set the tone, and I think it puts more pressure on Garoppolo because he's like, the coach don't believe me? Mm-hmm. Like now. And when you're playing the style of offense that the 49ers play, you don't get that many opportunities. You got to make your opportunities. You have a small window to work in as a quarterback. Like, you only get so many throws.
Right.
Like, you're not getting 36 to 37 or 38 throws.
Best nights you're getting 25. That's a great night for you. Yeah.
And they're going to be all play action. You got to hit the guys in stride so they can go.
You got to hit the cross route. Yeah.
And then, like that pass that he missed in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, you have to hit that.
You got to hit that.
Yeah, because you don't get that many opportunities. You know,
We're talking something totally different if he hits that pass.
Yeah,
You know.
and Pat Mahomes is going to get many opportunities to throw the ball, run, do what he want to do.
Like we seen, he got to make up for all those short passes he threw in the first half. You know, because he was real tight. You know, he was super tight, and it was like you said, we only get throwing 7 passes, so you got to make your 7 passes count.
Yeah, and I think because we talked about once the Garoppolo had an interception against Minnesota, they went 72 runs, 15 passes after that, and it kind of was a theme. You know, there were really a lot of mixed directions, end around using Debo Samuels as an effective running back, trying to keep him off balance. The Chiefs, and worked and made adjustments. But it would be interesting because I thought the game was still in the 49ers' hand because it never was you guys were out of it, like where you got to come out of character. There was no point in that football game where you were down by enough with time where you had to say, okay, now we got to pass and go hurry up offense. Even when the Chiefs pulled within 3, it was 7 minutes, 6 and change left. Like you had your full playbook ready,
still open, right?
Yeah, your full playbook still open. And going forward, and then once they got it back and scored again, you were coming. There was a big run that set that play up when you got to midfield, and then you missed the shot, and then the eventual interception moving forward. So there's an opt-out contract with Jimmy G. You think they're going to use it, or Jimmy G's your guy going forward?
Nah, Jimmy G has to be the guy. You can't opt out.
Yeah, I mean he played well through the season.
It's growing pains. It's growing pains. This man only paid. This is his first full season. So let the man play. He's only his first full season playing. He's going to be dealt with this, and the lights may not. Hopefully, the lights is not too bright next time. You got to get used to it. You're only going to get used to it by playing. So. You keep him. I mean, unless if something is crazy on the table and you see something else that you think you can mold, then that's something different. Something that I don't see. Hey, look, I wanted Jalen Ramsey. We get Jalen Ramsey. We talking something different right now. I wanted Jalen Ramsey over there by himself, isolated with whoever. I don't care if it was Tyreek Hill, fastest man in football. I wanted Jalen Ramsey. That's why I was pushing for him, man. Give him what they want.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting. Moving forward with the style of play, and one theme has been key through these playoffs is that the run game, emphasis on the run game has been put back.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Could you imagine if San Fran gets cover corners? Like. If they could play man on the outside and bring blitz, what they already doing with just their front four. If they could bring pressure with the linebackers and be able to cover 1-on-1.
Yeah, that's when he comes in the draft because you're gonna have to pay people eventually. And
I was hearing there's supposed to be a real deep corners out there this year.
So I mean that's when you have to build up because you get your first round to be 5 years, your second round to be a 4-year guy. On their contracts, their initial contracts, while you're paying, your defensive lineman, you can't play everybody. So with the salary cap, so it'll be interesting to see. But I just think the emphasis this year and the theme in the playoffs was, running the football. Baltimore got away from it. They kind of panicked in their game. They went through 59 passes. The Titans were like, we're going to run the football. The 49ers, of course, were a running team. Minnesota was a running team. And that was a thread that, hey, if a lot of times you can run, but these coordinators get away from it because the head coaching opportunities for run-first coordinators don't seem to pop up like passing guys developing quarterbacks. But in this time, you had a lot of success. I mean, you got the 49ers ran the ball to the Super Bowl, and they were trying to run, right to the championship.
And they was doing it.
Yeah, they were doing it. They were up by 10 late.
Yeah.
And they had some opportunities at the end of the half, maybe to stretch the lead. So it was more, if you look forward and looking at the NFL, everybody thinks it's going to be a pass league. But I think a lot of now with the run games thoroughly entrenched and being able to dominate during the run against a lot of teams that are preparing to do pass every week. Gives you an advantage, and you can get play action off there, and you can be able to have your quarterback be able to be successful. And the thing is, like a lot of people take it as advantage, like a manager or whatever, But no, I mean, if your team's a great running team, you should run the football,
Right.
and you should play action off that, which is going to give you better throws, easy throws, to get your fullback open. The fullback's always open.
I know the O-line is happy because they're tired of getting hit.
They want
to go hit somebody.
Be aggressive.
Yeah.
And you be able to play downhill. So that was my take from this playoff season and the Super Bowl run. It was interesting that we all think it's going to be quarterback pass happy league, but during the season and during the postseason, tough run games made it through.
Well, the thing about it is the passing quarterbacks are phasing out.
Yeah.
All the big time passing quarterbacks are phasing out now. So, Mahomes is a new breed, but all the big time quarterbacks, are pretty much phasing out for the ones that throw for 4,000 yards a season. Like, the Rivers and them, they're all, they're on their way out. So now it's like, what are we going to do now? Because everybody was looking at, not me, but everybody was looking at Garoppolo as, top 5 quarterback. I never did.
Yeah.
But if you look at him like that, he's still on a running team. He's in a run first team. So other than Mahomes, is not that many few young guys that's that good at passing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think it's going to be, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I think that a lot of times you just didn't get the hype as a lot of passing coordinators got, like for the next head coaching job.
Right.
Everybody's looking for that next gig, and a lot of times as the people we're talking about with the offensive coordinator Greg Roman for the Baltimore Colts. I'm not the Baltimore Colts, the Baltimore Ravens. Excuse me. He got no looks.
Yeah, because most of the time, if you're a running offense, you got to have a good defense, a real good defense.
And coexist with each other.
Right.
Yeah,
you got to have a real good defense. So most of the time, your offense just get overlooked because your defense is so much better.
Yeah.
As far as watching wise, looking wise, your defense is so much better. So most of the time, that offense gets that running offense gets so much overlooked. Like the Baltimore years, when they were running with Jamal Lewis, with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, Nada, so. Most of the time, your
Legion
offense
of Boom.
Same situation. Most of the time, your offense gets overlooked because of how good your defense is when you're a running team. And to be successful, you got to have a good defense if you're a running team.
To keep the games close,
right,
and be able to leverage
keep running, be able to keep running.
Yeah, because that's what Sherman said. The ability to run the football and their defense allowed them. The offense usually are not going out and having like 35-second drives with the 3 incompletions real quick, and so that got them time to be able to get to the sideline, readjust, and move. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects the success of running football and kind of the smash mouth football theme that's going forward. How that affects the draft coming up, how teams look and prepare as they're getting wide receivers, and just not wide receivers to catch, but wide receivers that can run. Like there's a lot of the college input I'm seeing kind of in the NFL now with the end rounds, which all receivers and all backs doing everything from backs catching it to receivers running it, kind of getting angles to be able to attack the defense. You've seen a lot of the RPOs, so it's a lot of the college concepts, the spread concepts, multiple positions, running, catching, doing things that are taking place in the NFL right now. So it'll be interesting as they move forward to see how that goes. So what's your lasting take from this Super Bowl 54? I know that you're up by 10 or whatever.
Hey, good game, both sides.
Yeah.
You gotta keep them down. You gotta keep kicking them when they down. You can't take your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
You can't do that, especially with the offense that the Chiefs have. Somebody that wants to keep scoring. That's gonna keep asking for the blows. So.
Yeah.
And Shannon, he's going to. He may have to get real risky. He already runs a tricky offense, but he may have to get real risky. This year to try to wipe away that. He wipe away people's brains and what they think about him. And then go from there. But good for Andy Reid. Like I was telling anybody, if we didn't make it, I would have wanted Andy Reid to get one. So he got one. I didn't want him to get it on behalf of my team, but he got it on behalf of my team. So
yeah, like Andy was definitely, he was a favorite. He was a sentimental favorite. He had been there a few times, and he had got there with the Eagles, and then he had the NFC Championship games. And he's probably not a doubt, like the coach of this younger generation, they know Andy Reid,
Right.
from quarterbacks and everything along those lines. So definitely one of the good guys in the NFL, and you're happy for Andy. Hey, this might be the last time you see him back there too.
I think they will get back there. Especially, I think it's going to come down to him in Baltimore for maybe how it looks, maybe the next 5 years, him in Baltimore. You know, the way it looks, the way Baltimore is structured, the way they're structured. With the young players, they both got young players on both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder about what the Texans can do.
Texans and the Bills. I seen someone, I think it was, might have been Wayne Thomas that said something about the Bills.
Yeah.
But I just don't think we're believers of them yet.
They just got to go and show that they can do it. But I like their defense, definitely. My take on the Super Bowl was tremendous. It was a good Super Bowl. I enjoyed it. The contrast, running the ball was back.
Definitely.
It was like I was brought up. Football is one with character and cruelty, and those two things win football games. And the run game was thoroughly back. I'd like to see that running from different ways. The Titans run with Henry. 49ers, the way they were running the football, ain't nothing wrong with it. And just keep, the innovation and everything going. So it would be good to see next year. And we'll be 100 years of the NFL. Wow, I've been around for 50 of them. I'm like 51, so I've seen almost every Super Bowl. First Super Bowl was Super Bowl 9. This is 54. So it's about 45, 46 Super Bowls. And remembering them, just, watching them, and definitely. So yeah, that was definitely. It was a real good NFL season.
Yeah.
We'll be back next year and see how it goes. Maybe my boys will do something. Who knows? But it's going to be interesting. It's wide open. A lot of changes. A lot of coaches. So now I guess we just get ready for the draft and the combine and see what happens. We'll be talking about that. But one of the things is the NBA. The NBA trade deadline is just kicked off. The NBA and getting close to, as they say, the halfway mark. The All-Star break for the NBA. A lot of things going on. A lot of themes. I think everybody's still mourning the loss of Kobe. I mean, that's kind of like overshadowing everything, for the NBA right now. As you go forward. But the trading deadline did come, and there were some moves made. One of the moves was the Clippers. They got Marcus Morris in a 3-deal deal. I think out of the whole thing, out of everybody, they were like what do you think about that deal?
I think that was a good move. Another body to throw at LeBron.
No, okay. So it's all about getting out that the LeBron.
Yeah. I think that was another body. He can when Paul George or Kawhi is out, he can fill that role up in those minutes. With quality minutes and quality role. And that's the main thing, is getting a player in there that's respectable to play those, 25, 30 minutes when one of them go out.
Yeah. So. Definitely the bench and how you look. And I think, hey, the more hands you can get, I think they're definitely it's clear they're making a run for the chip.
Yeah.
They're all in. Like, we don't care about this year's all in. We don't know about tomorrow, but we're all in for this chip definitely this time. And we want to see how that plays out. The Golden State Warriors complete a blockbuster deal. This was interesting. They sent D'Angelo Russell, Evans, and Spellman, and they get Wiggins and some future picks. What did you think about this? Wiggins with matching up with the Warriors.
I think that's good,
because everything's about next year with them.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think like we all knew they didn't need Kyrie, but they probably could have did the same thing. They didn't need KD, but they probably almost maybe could have did the same thing with someone like Wiggins. But Steph would have just had to carry more of the load and Steph would have carried more on, and Clay would have did more work. Clay wouldn't have had those 12-point nights.
Yeah.
But they can still get the same point production from them three. He's no Kevin Durant. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if Kevin Durant's off OKC, they could have probably still made the same run that they made with Wiggins. I think.
You think?
Yeah, the same run. Well, if Kevin Durant's not on OKC.
Okay.
The run that they made, they would have still made it. Maybe they might have not beat LeBron and them as many times, but they would have made. I think they still would have got there because they were so far ahead of everybody. Yeah. I just think Steph would have played harder and Clay would have had to play a little harder. So I think their games would have upped, so they wouldn't have. So you've seen times where they just didn't play because it was like, all right, go ahead, KD. I think they would have played their same games, and they just would have added Wiggins. Wiggins brings back like their older team, like when they had Matt Harrison, Barnes, and that squad. But I like it because they knew they couldn't play D'Angelo Russell, Steph, and Clay at the same time.
Yeah.
They're all same, Steph and D'Angelo Russell are real similar.
Yeah.
So they knew they couldn't play both of them on the court at the same time with Clay. Clay's not going to play small forward, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, he could look at how James Harden, Houston's playing right now, so he might play power forward against Houston. So center, matter of fact, because PJ Tucker's 6'5", so he can play center against Houston. But I just think that was a good move for them because now they have more structure. Now next year I'm gonna play the 3, you're gonna play the 2. That's how it is. I think that was a good move for them.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting because it's all about next year, and they're trying to get another run or two in at the chip because you figure LA is short term.
Yeah, and then Wiggins doesn't have to be that person that everybody wanted him to be for
that
so
superstar.
long.
Yeah, he can come in
That's
and fade.
That's a good thing for Wiggins.
It's almost like Wiggins could come there and be the Iguodala role.
Correct.
Where like Iguodala was supposed to be the man in Philadelphia, carry his franchise, but that wasn't Iggy.
That wasn't his game.
That wasn't his game. His game wasn't like that. He can come there and be like Iguodala. I'm a very good player, and I could be that tertiary option on nights, and I can run and do different things defensively.
And I can guard. You're right. I can guard the best player.
Yeah.
I can still. I'm always gonna be able to get you 17. But I think people wanted Wiggins to get 30 some nights.
Yeah, and to be that player, like the drop numbers, like be unstoppable, come down the court and carry us. They wanted to be kind of like Giannis has been doing for like right now.
And it just hasn't shown that that's Wiggins right now.
Yeah, definitely. And they want to. So you look at the Heat, the Miami Heat. They Pat Riley feels that the East is up for grabs, and they go out and get Iguodala, who we talked about, Crowder, and Hill. They give Memphis Justin Winslow, some other players, nothing really heavy there, but the Heat are trying to win, like right now. They feel as though the East can be had.
Yes.
We're right there with anybody else. We still got that South Beach advantage. When you come down here to South Beach, there's still distractions. When you come down to South Beach,
worse than Atlanta.
Yeah, so you come down there. So you have the Heat making a move, and they just smoked Philadelphia. That a little bit. Jimmy Butler and the coaching and Pat Riley. Heat's a surprise this year because both of us, we talked earlier. If you want to show now, right now you got to have Spoelstra Coach of the Year.
Yes.
Through the halfway mark, definitely for what the Heat have been able to do and able to accomplish. Nobody was expecting this from the Heat.
No. Not even close.
Yeah, being third in the East, like nobody was really expecting them to have this type of year so far, and it's really been tremendous for them going forward. And they can battle with anybody in the league. So it's going to be interesting coming through. And I like Spoelstra. I like the toughness that Jimmy Butler brings to a locker room. It may not fit well with modern day players, but
And the thing about with Giannis, the reason why he have a huge chance because Giannis is like someone you can game plan for. Like some players, you're like, all right, like Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
There's nothing I can do really to stop Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I can try to force him to shoot the jumper. He wants to shoot the jumper.
Yeah.
I can try to elbow him or something. Try to frustrate him. But there's nothing you really can do with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Like some of the top players in the NBA, it's like
they
really
can't stop him. And Giannis, and the thing about Giannis is that the jumper is getting there. He's getting better, and he's not afraid to take it. And you better get him now because if that jumper becomes sweet, it's
yeah.
If that jumper becomes sweet, it don't even have to be like pure cane sugar.
No.
If it just becomes saccharin, or what other sugar substitutes they use out here?
It'd be sweet and low.
Sweet and low.
Long as it's hitting.
As long as it's hitting.
As long as you can use it. Yeah.
You
right.
Yeah, that's going to be problems, as they say. Problems, definitely. And that's the key. So, and I think in a way I'm looking at Milwaukee kind of like when Cleveland had LeBron back in the day. They can win a lot of regular season games, but when you focus in, like you say, and concentrate in a 7-game series just to take him away, they can run some issues because I don't know how great their team is. But look, they're winning right now, and they're feeling confident. So it'll be interesting to see. But people are really feeling they can take a 7-game series and win it. So
Iguodala's another body to throw at Giannis.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's another guy.
Smart brain. Iguodala's one of the smartest basketball players we have on the court.
Yeah, and he's been doing it for a while. He's been rested.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he's not like he's ready to come in and
ready to ball.
Ready to ball. Like he's ready to do some stuff right now. So we'll definitely see him out. And we look at this Capella deal. What's going on with Houston? They went total committed to small ball. I don't know. Like
Houston did. I mean, a lot of people saying y'all thought it wouldn't work. It worked against the biggest team. Well, this is the first night of seeing it. You know? So you can't measure off of nothing like that. You'll go crazy measuring off you can't measure the first night. 7-game series. There's no way that they can deal with Anthony Davis on that block. But they're going all in. They're saying this is what we do. We're running.
We committed to it. Yeah.
We shoot, and this is what we do, and this is what we're going to do. Now, what they feel is though, okay, now Westbrook can slash to the rim. Westbrook is shooting a career low at 3 points.
Yeah.
So now Westbrook can go to the hole at will now because there's no big man. Everybody's spread out.
Yeah.
So nobody's nobody's in the hole. So Westbrook now can get to the hole. James Harden can get to the hole more. Now if he gets to the hole, they drive to the hole. Now they got the kick out. Now they got.
It's a make or miss league. Either we're gonna make our threes or we not. And the rebounding ain't that big.
You gonna take twos? We gonna take threes.
Yeah.
And they feel like, we all in. This is our game. This is what we're going to do. And let's go. Now, he may lose his job over this.
Yeah.
He may lose his job. Coach,
but if like we always did the joke, if you're going to be a Bear, be a Grizzly. If you're going to be committed to small ball and shooting up the threes, let's be fully committed in.
Be fully committed, yeah. Yes.
But when I saw the drive and what Capella, the problems they gave the Sixers, like even when they were playing in B, like I don't know. But hey. Look. If I'm going to go down, I'm gonna go down doing what I do.
And that's what happened.
I don't want to be halfway about it, like what's going to shook one.
And they think you're going to be so excited to post them up.
Yeah, that's going to take you out your game.
You're going to play totally different because you're going to be trying to feed the ball down low so much just because,
Yeah.
Webber made a quote about Muggsy Bogues. He said everybody wanted to post Muggsy Bogues up because he was so small. He said, I can guarantee Muggsy Bogues probably has the highest post-up rating, but he probably did pretty well against his post-up players because everybody was so excited to put him in the post.
Yeah. And that's going to be interesting to see because, going back and see can they maintain with that size and being able to play. And how does that wear down, 6'5" guys banging all the time? Does that take their legs away? Does that take their ability to shoot away? Like you said, they want to open up the paint and almost like, I guess, a European style and play totally up-tempo and totally get...
Because now when Westbrook drives, you're going to have to help out. Now you have James Harden, Eric Gordon, Tucker. Yeah. That's House. That's 4 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
And 3 of them pretty much is automatic,
Yeah. And that's going to be interesting to see. Definitely. And the Hawks get Capella, which they need some defense. They need some rebounding. So it'll be interesting to see how they plan out, too. But, that Houston thing is going to be a real good experiment to keep your eye on as we move forward. And let's get into those Philadelphia 76ers. Like, I'm going to talk Sixers. As you know, if you tune into the show, I'm a Sixers fan. Definitely NBA fan, but definitely the Sixers. So the Sixers added Alec Burks, Glenn Robinson III. They gave up about 3 second-round picks. And they also sent James Ennis III to Orlando Magic to clear up some roster space. Strange enough, Ennis is the one who said the Sixers will walk to the Eastern Conference Finals, but he's not even on the team anymore. What do you think about the trade? Just trying to get some shooters, trying to get some that second bench out?
Yeah, I think they're trying to get some shooters, and they know they need some shooters. And I like Glenn Robinson. I like him. I like his game. He's solid.
Yeah. Defensively, does he have a defensive, or is just shooters? Like we're about shooting. Like,
I think more y'all need shooters more than anything. I think y'all can guard.
Yeah, defensively, I think they're all right.
I like Ben as a guard. I think he's a great defender.
Yeah.
It's just that you gotta get somebody to put that ball up. You know what I mean?
And definitely, and I think Ben has made some improvements. He's going to the basket a little bit more. He's shooting better free throws over this stretch. Also, Joel Embiid has been injured. He's playing with the injured hand. there's been some talk, but they bounced back last night, beat a Grizzlies team. They smoked them. But the last 4 games in a row were 4 losses. Started with the Hawks, the Celtics, and then Miami, and then they lost by 12 points to Milwaukee. Which the Celtics and Heat loss because it wasn't competitive. It was very strange and disheartening. Like, what's going on? And losing to the Hawks, you gotta be able to beat the Hawks, man. Even though I know you struggle on the road, but darn, like
certain teams you got.
Trey Young gives you problems. I know he had a double in the first quarter, but it just seems like like you got to get focused on the road because right now you're a 6th seed in the East, and that's very disappointing because you didn't expect the Sixers to be the 6th seed in the East, and it just seems like the team was put together, and we talked about this constantly. The team was put together kind of flawed when you looked at the 3 players that you have starting need to be in the low post, Ben, Embiid, and Al Horford. We were excited, and Al Horford's been taking threes and shots. A lot of people are asking why, because somebody has to. You got to get stretched. You got to stretch the floor. You got to be able to get that spread out for them to be able to move forward with it. And it's going to be interesting to see how they come down the stretch. Now, Brett Brown is catching all kind of heat. I mean, it may be to the point where Brett has just reached this point with this team. He's been there since all the losing. The voice is just like, hey, we've heard you, we've listened to you, and we're not. And I'm not talking about like you got to be super motivated or whatever, because what basically is going to come down is how good does Embiid and Simmons want to be. Do they want to put in the work to be world champions? Do they want to take their games to the next level? Or are they satisfied being celebrity stars? Like you're an all-star, you're a celebrity, people know you. How good do you want to be? It's the cult. NBA is a players' league. So how good do you want to be? How much work do you want to put in? How much do you want to have all arsenals in your game to be able to win? Do you think it's a issue with Embiid and Simmons and they're playing together because we want to beat on a low block, but Simmons wants to drive, and that crowds things up? Can they play together as superstars, or do they have to make a decision on one? You would say the longevity is with Ben, and B, it's kind of injury prone. He's a big guy, doesn't play long or dominate that long. What do you think? What do you think about that? That's been a theme too. Like they just not
can they
mismatched
click
pieces.
together? I think they can click together, but I think what has to happen is Ben has to get off the ball. I think Ben has to get off the ball for a lot of reasons, and other than just Embiid. I just think, and Ben's not gonna get off the ball unless y'all get, like if y'all would have got D'Angelo Russell, it'd be real easy to move Ben. So if y'all just get,
but the interesting thing, he's off the ball in the fourth quarter. If you remember back to last year, Jimmy Butler had the ball in the fourth quarter,
right?
But he just came back from injury.
Right.
Richardson was running the ball in the fourth quarter. Like when it slowed down, it became more of a half-court game, and especially when Embiid was out, because I was interested in seeing that them doing more pick and roll in the fourth quarter with Ben as the picker. You know what I mean? And then he can roll athletically to the basket, whereas in his comfort zone. But yeah, that's interesting because if you may take him off the ball in the fourth quarter, do you take him off the ball more during the game?
If you take him off the ball more during the game, I think that would help a lot. Then he would become more of a slasher. He would become more of a cutter. But then it's like you limit his brain, because his brain with the ball is different also.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's looking to pass. I mean, he plays great defense. He's looking to get people involved. That's his nature.
Right.
I mean, he gets inside the foul line and still turn around. He doesn't turn around looking to kick it out. Yeah, and you want him like go go to the hole, score on him. But he's been going to the hole more aggressively in these past stretches. Moving forward, so I mean, Ben's definitely Hollywood. He got Kylie, and he do the Hollywood thing. But at one point, and players ain't gonna be the same as before. But it's gonna be interesting to think. It's like I said, it's all gonna come down to how good they want to be, and I think if they don't really do something serious in the playoffs, like get to the Eastern Conference Finals in a hard, good, tough series, maybe that's the only way Brett Brown comes back. If they get out, people are looking like a first round elimination. If they get eliminated in the first round, well, he definitely is not going to be back. And then you got to look at Elton Brand. Like they put this team together, going out getting Horford. That was a good. He took some steam out the Celtics. Took a guy away from you that gives Embiid problems. But At the same time, you kind of got an unbalanced team there.
Right. Because now you got a guy who Al Horford is a power forward height, but he hasn't played power forward in his whole career. He hasn't played power forward. I don't think he played power forward in Atlanta. I believe he played center because Smith played power forward.
Yeah.
So I think Josh Smith played power forward. So
I think he was a good, like, when I think if you change Horford's minutes around and have him substitute him and Embiid not on the floor as much, maybe a little bit, like when Embiid's out, Horford's the 5. You know what I mean? And then you bring in these guys also that you brought in, perimeter that can shoot. I think that's a move that I think they're going to make when they try to acclimate, the new players that they have. I think you just got to try to, change up the situation and see exactly, what's a better fit and how you're able to succeed and move. That's what I think they're going to do. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because this is supposed to be, like I said in the beginning, it's O'Brien or bust. They are the classic team that had a lot of expectations, and maybe they're resting on laurels because they lost to the champions last year off of 3 bounces in Game 7 on the road, and maybe they feel a little full of themselves. But you got to come in; it's going to be earned. Like, these championships aren't like easy to win, man. And like
no.
You're not going to.
Golden State made it look easy.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard work, and I always go back to the great Edmonton teams that won with Gretzky and them. They had a great. They were like the bomb squad of hockey, and they had just lost to. I think the Islanders had won 4 cups in a row. It was the last cup the Islanders lost, and Gretzky went into their locker room to congratulate them. He saw they was just physically spent, done, and he was like, "Oh, this how you got to be to win a cup. Like, no matter how much talent you got, you gotta be. It's not easy to physically win it. If it'd be easy, it'd be a lot of champions around here. So it'll be interesting to see how they
put it all on the line.
Yeah, put it all on the line. For the cup, for the championship, and the NBA is going to hit. They're going to have the NBA contest, and we got a fight coming up pretty soon.
Oh yeah,
heavyweight fight. We got to talk about that next week. See exactly, and we got some on locations things brewing. I'll know more next week. Let you guys know. We're definitely, getting in there. Thanks, Jonathan, for coming down. Mamba mentality. I know you weren't feeling the best that you were feeling, but you came through
it.
You had to pull through, and definitely. And I guess the other partners in crime, Duke, Nate, Doug will be back. Coach Greg. Coach Greg, how you doing, Coach Greg? He's out there. But definitely, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Sports Talk Live for the culture. Peace.